With your earphones on. Hi, Connie.
Hey, Suzanne, how are you?
I'm doing good.
So you
Okay,
got the
everybody.
earphones. Let me take those out right quick.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our channel, All Things Hallmark. We're so glad that you are letting us back into your house today. We got another good movie to talk about. My friend Connie Bivens and Suzanne Eaglin. So the movie today is Love on the Menu. And I will say another good one. I just love this one. I mean, sometimes I don't want you guys to think, oh, you guys just love every one of the movies. Well, we do love Hallmark. That's why it's called All Things Hallmark. But I will say this movie has a different meaning. It takes different directions, very untraditional from Hallmark to me, and I loved it. Okay, what about you, Connie? What you thought of this week's movie?
I enjoyed the movie, of course, but to your point, when you talk about we love every movie, I had to watch this one twice, not because I didn't love the movie, but it didn't hold my attention the first time because there was so much going on in my house. So sometimes don't be afraid to watch it the second time. And so I did get to watch it again, and it's so funny. Can I just say this is on during the movie this time, because I specifically told my granddaughter, she's 5. I specifically told her I need to watch this movie, and you guys didn't let me watch it the last time. Can I tell you that girl knows the names of the characters of the movies because she's been watching All Things Hallmark and been watching Hallmark Channel with me and Hallmark Mysteries and movies and mysteries, and so she's been doing All Things Hallmark with me. And so I was impressed last night when she said, "Grandma, are they getting married? Grandma, are they falling in love? Grandma." She called some of the characters by name, so I thought that was pretty cool. So yes, once again, a very good movie with some great takeaways.
You know what? That's true. I do. There's certain movies. I don't know if it was something going on with me, my body, or in the household, but there are movies that I've had to watch twice because I'm like, well, one, I do think that Hallmark brings us good quality movies. And so if they've made it a premiere, chances are the movie is good. It's me. It's something going on with me if I miss it. So I give it a second chance and I watch it again to make, because I'm sure something has happened for me not to have gotten what I was supposed to get. And that's what I like about what we're doing, because we always talk about what we get out of the movies. There's lots of movies, there's lots of people doing reviews. We're doing something different. We want to talk about what we get out of the movie. And I really appreciate you for doing this with me, Connie.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm always about helping people pursue the things that are on their heart to do. So, yeah, and not to mention, I love Hallmark. So
Okay.
it wasn't difficult.
Now, real quick, you said, I know I'm your friend, but I want you to clarify. You said that you're always motivating people. Can you tell me what's the name of your business?
Oh, okay. So Activate Your Life Coaching is what I do, and help people to activate their lives. I partner with them to pursue their dreams and visions, and I absolutely love it. As a matter of fact, I found out something new today in social media. I created a mentorship page.
Great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I love it. Well, all right. Well, thank you for sharing. Okay, viewers, you heard that good information. Activate your life. If there's some things going on and you need some extra help, go check her out. Activate your life. All right. So now let's get into the movie.
All right, all right. So first thing, okay. Um, can I tell you that technically our actress was a bitter woman. She'd had a breakup. She wasn't really interested in love. She wasn't looking for love. That is like off the bat, the first thing you recognize. She tickled me laying in bed talking about light on, like clap on. you know.
That's true. That is how it began.
Yeah, and so, but I enjoyed her character. I loved her fashion sense. She kind of dressed like I do. I have that business dress going on, and at one point in the movie, she got a little relaxed with her dress code, and her boss was like, "Is it casual Friday?" So yeah, so I really enjoyed watching her and watching Maggie as her character. Um, she didn't really pursue Hank in the romantic fashion, but she pursued him business wise. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, so, her business, basically, she started out telling her boss, again, her boss was a piece of work. I promise you. You know, it's like get to the point. But her boss, she told her boss that the route they were on had been just overtaken by other businesses and whatnot. And so she had put some thought to how they could get an edge on other businesses. And so she comes up with this idea to have frozen gourmet food, you know. And even when she says it, those of you that are food connoisseurs, I'm sure you thought to yourself, gourmet, frozen food, you know, even though we have all of that now. But really, there is a gift to keeping gourmet food gourmet after it's frozen. So her whole intentions as she pursues Hank is to get into business with him, not to fall in love with him. And so she tells her boss about this restaurant that she's been to, which is owned by Hank. And she goes to the restaurant and she orders all of this food. I'm just saying, all of this food. The funny part is that she's sitting in front of a food critic, like right beside her, but everyone in the restaurant making assumptions. I think Suzanne and I talked to you all about making assumptions last week, maybe. And they make the assumption because she's ordered all this food that she's the food critic. So it's almost like, Suzanne, they ignore the real food critic.
They did.
All of their attention to Maggie, thinking that's who she is, and then the relationship between the restaurant, Hank, and Maggie pursue.
I loved it. And as you stated, gourmet food frozen, but I live in California, home of Trader Joe's.
Yes.
So it's all over now, but Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, so I'm definitely familiar with some yummy foods that you can do it, but it definitely takes work. I absolutely loved Hank's, you know, he seemed closed-minded regarding, you know, changing foods. Like he was absolutely not. That's not something he's interested in, but he had an openness to himself.
Now, he seemed closed-minded. That joker said, I will never.
Absolutely. But lo and behold, we all know this, which was a life lesson. When push comes to shove, when your back is up against the wall, you better come up with other creative ways to excel in life. Yes. When one door closes, another door opens, and that's exactly what Maggie represented. I have an open door. And so we find out that his business is actually struggling. And so she presented an answer. She had a problem, he was the answer. He had a problem, she was the answer. And so, you know, that really was good. I will say, going back to Maggie in the beginning, it was so funny because she was very keen on how she wanted everything. Her juices had labels, what day of the week. She had she was consistent with her routine. She spilled a little drop of, it looks like morning coffee, and she takes the time to clean it. Now, what I noticed, and so for everybody else who, you know, likes psychology and that type of thing, everything was meticulous except one thing that she did that was, I was like, well, you didn't do that. When she threw her coffee in the sink, she throws the coffee in the sink, the rest of it in the sink, but she doesn't rinse out the sink. I thought that was, you did the counter, you did make sure the every portion, but not rinse out the sink. I would think that people who are very meticulous about stuff like that, that would have been something that they would have paid attention to. Listen, I'm not meticulous like that, but I did pay attention to that because I like psychology and stuff. So, so here they are working together. She's got great ideas, new ways for him to do it. He was hard pressed on trying to hear, wait, are you saying that we're not doing a great job? And as a result of ignoring the person which is a lesson, you don't know who is in position to give you favor, to open doors of opportunity, to give you a blessing. And so you putting all of your stock on one person when the person that you've been ignoring might be the person who was sent to help you in the season that you are in. So that was a lesson. And so customer service, good customer service, customer service.
Yeah.
So
I didn't order this, and you done gave the food critic the wrong order. I'm just saying, you know.
And then he couldn't get his response that way he needed it, and they spilled it was hilarious. It was
Hilarious.
absolutely hilarious. So it was laughter in that. But lo and behold, romance came through.
It
And so Hank has a daughter. He's a widow. I don't, he has a daughter, and so Maggie's in there. She's going to change change all things about this restaurant and make it more modern, bring it up to speed. But we find out that his daughter did the website. Now you figure she's in corporate America, she's got a firm. I'm sure she had people who could do that. But she didn't go outside. She went with Maggie. Maggie went with his daughter, and which was to me was another life lesson, seeing a teenager with great potential. She didn't crush her dream, but she helped nourish the dream. She gave her opportunity, she helped her with that, and then her payment was she acted like a big sister. She was able to take her shopping, and she, since her mother had passed away, it was a nice way that one, Maggie was giving back to the community. She was okay with being a big sister or a mentor or somebody to help activate her life, for the best words I can describe it. So I just thought that part was really, really touching for me. It was good in my heart to see that.
Yeah, I just love the way, one of the parts scenes that I liked too was how Maggie showed up in the kitchen and just like, hi, here I am, trying to introduce herself and whatnot. But she was very, like you said, very meticulous about getting things done and whatnot. And so when she sees this gifting in this young person, the daughter of Hank, when she sees the giftings there, she immediately, kind of begins to cultivate, not without any prompting from the daughter, because if you remember, they were eating that pizza, and before Maggie could even get a bite of her pizza, Maggie had told her a little story about her mom and her hair, and so immediately the daughter was like, well, can we do it now? So the daughter herself too was the kind of person to go after it, even at a young age. You never know really, what the young people are willing and ready and able to do, because that's the thing that got her in trouble. If you remember, her friend grades got hacked, and so she immediately changed them back and immediately found herself suspended from school.
She
Um,
was a fixer.
but look, I really enjoyed the fact that, okay, so today she was a vegan, her and her friend. And the next day, and her dad makes this fabulous meal. Now I'm just saying, girl.
I was hungry for it.
Yes!
Yes, I was hungry for it.
My kids, honey, thank the Lord for oatmeal and stuff, but honey, yeah, there was many a day they were eating cereal milk. So surely, if I fixed you a nice, customized meal today and you don't eat it, and then tomorrow I fix the one you say you are, and then you still don't eat it, that I'd have been done, Suzanne. But on the third day, he comes with a spread.
I know. He's like, I don't know what you are today. Vegan.
Yeah, so
You eat meat.
So I got some for all of it, But what that says to me, even watching that part of the movie, Suzanne, it speaks to the fact that we always have an alternative. We
That's
always
right.
have choice. We don't have to give up. We don't have to give out, and we don't have to give in. We always have a choice. And I love the way Hallmark, I don't care what movie you're watching with Hallmark, they always implement so many life lessons in it. And so, yeah, so this woman wrapping her arms figuratively around this young woman and helping her to become her best self. And look, and so Suzanne, just like you plugged in my business a moment ago, I thought about your business of living victoriously after divorce. Now they're not experiencing a divorce, but they are experiencing loss. And this young woman, Maggie, is helping this daughter and her father to live victoriously after their loss. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And so, yeah, so I enjoyed that and the fact that, but what I didn't like, and I'm not going to give this part away about the movie, not that I didn't like the movie, I didn't like what the character did. When you get to the end of this movie and see how things turn out as you go to the end, not the end, but as you're going towards the end, there's some things that happen in the corporate world that we all have experienced at any given time that just ain't right. And
That's right.
Just ain't right. And so, but again,
Hashtag wrong.
Yeah, but again, Hallmark shows you that we have choices, we have opportunities. Because when they originally first went into business, poor Hank said, "I guess I don't have any choice," but he really did have one, and I'm glad he made the one that he did, and they showed him making the one he did. Because sometimes, Suzanne, sometimes you got to take the bad of what you perceive to be bad and watch what happens as a result of you giving your best. Can I tell you, I never heard him complaining. I never heard him bashing any of that kind of crazy stuff going on, and that's sometimes, can I just say it, we as people, when things don't happen on the job the way we want it to, we have a tendency to dog folks out and complain. And can I just say this? That people are concerned about their corporate business. And you knew that when you went to the corporate place. And so it's up to us to do our best with what we have. And that's what Hank did in this movie. That's what they allowed him to do in this movie. And so another good movie. Like I said, I had to watch it twice. Both times with the 5-year-old, but the first time she was jumping around, the second time she was sitting there talking to me about the character. So just an awesome movie. Love on the menu. The part that we didn't talk about, and I want to throw it back to you, Suzanne, is talk about what Hank said was the main ingredient for every meal.
All right, love. He was talking to Mac, and he said love is the main ingredients in every meal. And she said her response was, "Well, love doesn't pay the bills." And so I love, she's practical,
Yeah.
but he was open even with a person who lost his loved one. He still was open and he understood love. Now, in this movie, Lucas Graham wrote a song called Love Someone, and it has some very powerful lyrics. So when you watch it or go back and watch it again, look up the lyrics or really listen to it, because he talks about when you love somebody, you open your heart up. When you love somebody, you are afraid to lose someone when you are really truly in love. And in the song, it talks about, and if you're not afraid, then you probably don't love the way that I love. And that, I was like, boom, blows your mind away. I love it, love it, love it. Now, I want to say this. So normally Hallmark kind of makes you wait for the end of the movie, for them to both figure out that they're in love with each other. That's not the case. When they decided to kiss, he was one of those men, I guess, very traditional, or very, he knows exactly what he wants. And he's like, I don't kiss everybody. I'm not just kissing anybody. So he cared for her and she reciprocated, and that was cool. And even in public, the very next day, when she walks back into the restaurant, he's talking to his staff. He walks over to her, he greets her, and he kisses her. I think either on the on the cheek or on the head, whatever. It was one of those, hey, I'm into you. Yesterday was good, but I look forward to some more, future progress in our relationship. So I love that they kissed through the movie. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I
One of
guess that wraps it all up.
Yeah, one of the things about the movie too, I wanted to just share is as the movie came on, you notice she had the positive outlook that she could help him turn his business around, and so it was a win-win as far as she was concerned. But if you remember from the very beginning, despite the fact that things turn out the way that they do. But remember, I mean, even from the beginning, when he met her the second time, he's like, "You call my restaurant stale," again, making assumptions. And so I definitely want to say that this movie has really taught us not to make assumptions about people based on what they look like, and sometimes even based on their behavior, because, that was the thing. They ran back in the kitchen. She got the right clothes on. She's sitting in the right spot. She ordered the amount of food. So all of that made them think that she was that critic. See, I'm getting back to that critic because that thing tickled me. Um,
Right.
but
And
definitely a takeaway is that don't make assumptions, and stay open to things that may not look like what you thought they ought to look like. They may not come in the package that you thought they ought to come in, but just keep an open mind and be willing to take chances.
that is all good. And one more thing, after you said that, it made me also think that sometimes when people, if we were talking, you might hear me say something and then think I said more than what I said, because you've internalized it. And that's what I saw in that clip that you talked about. He internalized it And so he projected his own thoughts, his own feelings, his own insecurity, when in fact that wasn't the statement. And we do that all the time. We hear one thing and we let our insecurities, our self, doubt, and all these other things come into play. You got to stay true to who you are, and you got to be open to hear the complete thing and not make it more than what it is. So, girl, I appreciate you for talking about this good movie with me.
I know, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Well, of course, we want to remind our viewers to make sure they go out and subscribe to our channel, tell other people about it. And can I just put something out there? I want
Have at it.
Hallmark. Hallmark, if you're listening to this and you're enjoying us also, would you mind leaving us a comment in the comment section and letting us know you're there? And we'll do the same, and we'll keep doing all things Hallmark.
Okay, so thank you so much for letting us come into your house today. Remember, like, share, and subscribe so that you are aware when our videos come. Put it on your social media, post it. I know some of you have friends who do exactly what we're doing, so tell them about what we're doing. Have a great day. Bye.
Have a great day. Back to the workout. See ya.